Hey everyone. So today we will be talking about why industry is gradually moving towards big data, Hadoop, Spark from last 6 to 8 years, and it is still the right time to learn the new tech and to move ahead. Um, by learning it will be get benefit. Okay, and the next thing what we will be covering that if it is the right time, what is needed uh, to be with the latest technology, how to start, and then how we can get a job by learning all this tech. Okay, so let's start with why we need to learn Hadoop, right? And why Hadoop is in such a high trend right nowadays. So if we go by statistics, what we can see that 91% of market leaders rely on customer data to take their business decisions. And when we talk about data-driven decisions, we need quality data to make those decisions, right? So in clear terms, data-driven decisions are based on quality data, right? So there's a proverb: if we give our data model, or if we give our model garbage, it will give garbage to us, right? And that's where data engineer's job will come handy, right? So 91% of market leaders make their business decisions based on data, and this data is of every kind. As we already know that only 20% of the data which is available in the industry is structured data, right? Which is in form of tables, and kind of it is easy to process, but 80% of the data still is in semi-structured or maybe in unstructured. So this is where people like you and me who want to become data engineers uh, will come handy here, right? Now the thing is how to process this 20% and this 80%. When I talk about 20%, it is still very large amount of data, and to process that data, traditional processing systems like RDBMS or maybe Java, pure Java, might not be very handy. And that's where people are moving towards Hadoop, Spark, and new distributed framework, distributed computing framework. And what we can see here, that there is a surge in data generation in all sector, which is estimated of 90% of last 2 years. So what we can see, this is 2021, right? What we can see from 2018 or 2019, in these, and right now it's 2021, in these 2 years, what we can see that there's almost 90% of surge, and the Hadoop market size was valued around 20.74 billion in 2019, and it is projected to reach 340 billion by 2027. So what we can say in clear terms, that in next 6 to 7 years, we can see almost more than 40% CAGR growth. So this all data, because obviously we are talking about data here, and if we look on these figures are data driven, and we can clearly see this is the right time. If you're not learning it, jump on the boat and ride it, right? So now few more things. If we talk about this is the same thing. If we talk about global Hadoop market, so obviously people thought about Hadoop in 2012, and we can see a clearly exponential growth from 2012 till now. So almost the market size of Hadoop in 2012 was less than 5 million, and in 2020 it is $50 million, right? And there's so many companies, there's so many industries who are using Hadoop or will be moving towards using Hadoop. So there is not even a single industry who is not using big data stack. So if we talk about manufacturing, retail, health, media, IT, trade, transportation, everywhere there is Hadoop. We can use as a service, or maybe for the processing model, or maybe for the storage or something, So these points proves a lot that this is the right time to learn Hadoop. Now, one more thing. So when we talk about databases, right? So we know that, okay, there is SQL Server, right? There MySQL, Oracle, Teradata, DB2, something like this. So now similarly, see, these all databases are using RDBMS behind the scene, right? RDBMS behind the scene. So what we can say that these are kind of distributor of SQL databases. Similarly, when we talk about big data stack or Hadoop technology, there are few market leaders who are providing services, who are providing enterprise support, who are providing their Hadoop as a service model to the industry. So the leading of them is Cloudera. So in 2017, and one of them in 2017-18 was Hortonworks, but these two companies merged together, and now they are only in Cloudera, right? When we talk about AWS, AWS is a cloud service provider, right? But AWS itself is providing too many big data services, for example, EMR, Kinesis, lot of things. Microsoft, we have Azure. In Azure, we have full stack of data engineering services. Now MapR has been acquired by HP, so it will be HP now. IBM and Hortonworks tied together, and then Hortonworks joined Cloudera. So what I'm trying to prove you here, don't get confused by the fancy names. More or less, everyone is doing the same thing. Maybe there will be some differences in syntax. So into whatever you guys get hands on. If you guys have Cloudera Quick VM available, go for it. If you guys have Hortonworks, what I can say, VM available, you can go here. If you have MapR cluster available, go here. If you have if your company is providing Azure VMs, go there. But what I want to say that, gets your hands dirty with any of the distributor. And believe me, if you want to switch from just one distribution to another, it won't be a tough task, especially from the development point of view. From migration, it might be tough, but from development point of view, it's not very tough, right? Now, the most interesting thing, what is the big data salary across the globe? We can clearly see there's an increase in big data or data engineer salary throughout the globe, and the average salary is around 100K throughout the, when we go for the average salary, it's almost 100K, right? One more interesting thing, we can, from junior position to the lead position in London or in Europe region, we can clearly see that, okay, salary is averaging around 110K pound, right, for the senior or lead. And this is the average salary. This is the highest salary. Highest salary might go to 120, 150, depending upon your caliber, depending upon the company, right? So if you guys are, convinced that, okay, now this is the right time to learn Hadoop now, or the big data or the Spark. Now the next question is where to start and what is needed, right? So let's go to next section, what is needed. When we talk about Hadoop, Spark, EMR, or Azure, three things are common across all these platforms. First thing, what you guys need to know is your Linux operating systems, because as a data engineer, you need to write all the commands, maybe in shell script, right? Maybe in shell scripts or in basic Unix commands. Because when we talk about HDFS or AWS or Azure Data Lake, you need to write kind of Linux commands. It's common across all the platforms. And believe me, in my experience, it's not very tough to learn basic Linux commands. You do not need to need a pro. You just need to see there's a list of 20 to 40 commands, I think, which are common across all the platforms, and it's very easy to learn. The next thing what we need is programming skills. Now, this is the most important thing. There are so many people who want to learn Hadoop, and basically they are distributed across two streams. The people who are database developers, they know PL SQL, PL SQL or T-SQL, and then they're Java developers. Java developers, they know Spring Boot, something related to Java, right? Now, the question arises, which programming skills you guys need to know to start your career with Hadoop or with big data stack? What I would say that you need both, but not at the pro level. You just need to know something. For example, how programming works, right? What is if else, what is while loop, what is for loop, because when you write the program, you can write the, if you talk about MapReduce program, you can write it in Java. If you don't know Java, you can do Hive programming, which is almost similar to SQL. You can write it in Python, right? You can write it in Scala, anything. Now, industry is moving away from MapReduce, we all know. So when we talk about Spark, you can learn Scala or Python, or if you know R, or if you know Java, you can be staying here. But if you don't know any programming language, people like from this group, they can start learning Scala or Python. And again, I'm telling you guys, you do not need to be a pro. You just need to know the basic programming concepts. Once you start your programming, believe me, it will be super easy for you guys. For Java programmers, if they want to go ahead and learn a new language, they can go for Scala. There's a lot of similarity between Java and Scala when we talk about object-oriented programming. And if they don't want to move their programming line, they can still stick with Java, right? Now, the next question, and which is the most important, is you need to know SQL. And when I say you need to know SQL, it's not related with Spark. It's with, if you are in an industry, you need to know SQL. Again, not at pro level, you do not need to be super proficient. You just need to know joins. You need to know clauses, different clauses, right? And then some performance tuning, how to write, what to write, and what not to write, right? So few things. And there are so many courses available, which from where we can learn SQL. So these three things will be required for you to start your Hadoop journey. And believe me, everything is available in super form in internet. When you want to learn anything, there's so many resources, and I'll cover that. But you need Linux, you need programming skills in any programming language, and you need to know basic SQL knowledge, right? Now, the next question is how to start. So we know now why Hadoop, because obviously industry is moving. What is needed? We know three things are needed. But now question arises, how to start, right? There are so many things available in internet. Almost when you search internet, and when you go here and go for YouTube and you search here and go for Hadoop tutorial, you find so many things. Like basically, it gives us hell lot of things. But the question arises now, which one we need to follow, or which one will give us more comfort level so that we can learn quickly, right? And even this is just a YouTube. When you search Google, there will be paid courses, free courses, lot of things. So now the question arises, where we need to start and how to start programming in big data stack. What I would suggest you, that go with any course, go with free course, paid course, but when you want to learn anything, go with hands-on approach. Always go with hands-on approach, right? So do things, do mistake, gets your hands dirty, and that's what make you a good developer. It's not like you watch some video for 2 to 3 hours, you'll feel like, okay, this is nothing, right? And then after 2 to 3 days, you forget everything. one more important thing when you, and this is for professionals who are working in an industry, and I'll cover for freshers in 2 minutes. So try to relate things what you are doing as of now. For example, as a database developer, what you are doing, you are, if you are ETL developer, and if you are using tools like Informatica, right, or maybe Talent, or maybe something else, which, or maybe you're writing your own migration script. What you're doing, you're extracting data from some source system, you're transforming it, and you're loading the data maybe into a data warehouse or maybe somewhere else. Now the question arises where you guys are struggling, right? What do you think that if you move to new stack, whether it will make your process faster or it will make your life easier? So what I'm telling, try to relate your pain points into your current job and revolve those pain points to get the answers from this new Hadoop stack. Okay, and once you know that, okay, for example, let's say if you have a SQL query which is taking 5 hours, maybe ETL job which is taking 5 hours, and if you move that ETL process to Spark, let's say, it will take 2 hours or maybe 1 hour, right? So now you need to decide that, okay, how easy or tough it is to move that process which is written in some programming language to Spark. Okay, now this is for professionals who are in industry and they know what they're doing and how to move that thing to new stack. But people who are just passed out from the colleges, right? What I will suggest them, don't think so much. I will give you a guide as of now in 2 minutes. Do follow that thing, right? So first thing, gets your hands dirty, right? Follow any tutorial. If you want to follow mine, that's good enough. If you don't want to follow my YouTube list, that's also good. But first thing, which is easy thing, is download a quick start Cloudera VM. If you don't have it available, I will share that link to you guys. But for this, you need to have 16 gigs of RAM into your laptop. If you have 16 gigs of RAM, well and good. You do not need to spend a single amount from your pocket. If you don't have 16 gigs of RAM into your laptop, what you need to do? You need to buy a subscription of a lab. And when I say subscription of lab, there are few labs which are available in the market. One is IT Versity Labs. So when I say here, and I say labs, so what you can find here, that they are providing a good quality Sparks cluster, and you can practice your Hadoop or Spark things here, right? One is there's so many labs, but this is a good lab which I would recommend. Go ahead with it, and it's very cheap. Okay, I think it's $3,000 or $50 for 6 months. Okay, now, so these two things are it. So these two things will give you an environment with all the tools installed, so that you know. See, you are working to become data engineer, not administrator. So what I would prefer that, okay, don't waste too much time to set up cluster, because when you join industry, you won't even get a chance to look at the cluster configuration. Nobody will allow you. So think from that perspective, go with either this or this. The second thing what I want, the setup and IDE. If you want to learn Scala, I have already covered in a tutorial. You can download Scala IDE, and then download local Spark and configure it. I will cover it again if you guys want, but I already covered in tutorial. Okay, now the big question is what to learn. So obviously you have a lab now, you have environment. Now the bigger question is what to learn. There are so many things, right? So there is MapReduce, there is HDFS, then Spark, Hive, Pig, Flume, Kafka, lot many things, and this ecosystem is growing day by day. So now the question arises, what we need to learn, right? As a newbie, what if I use my experience? One thing in any case you need to learn, that is HDFS And when we talk about HDFS, it's all about HDFS commands. There's a set of commands, nothing very fancy, 20 to 30 commands at max. Like how to get command, put command, then list files, a lot of things. The second thing is you need to learn some programming framework, like maybe Python or Scala or Java, just to write some program. So even though industry is not using MapReduce paradigm as of now, but what I would prefer is still at least spend few minutes or few days or few hours, whatever it feels like, to learn about how MapReduce worked in the past and how those programs were written, how they are complicated, and why industry move ahead from MapReduce to Spark, right? The third thing what I want is Hive. And when I say Hive, learn Hive in a lot of detail, spend around, if you are professional, at least spend 10 to 20 days. For here, you can spend 1 to 2 days, here 1 to 5 days, right? 1 to 5 days. Now here 1 to 2 days, 10 to 20 days. The fourth thing is learn, if you want to learn Spark, and if you want to learn a new programming language, go for Scala. And here you can spend at least 1 to 5 days, right? Fifth thing is Spark. Now, industry has already moved from MapReduce to Spark, and now the new additions are coming to Spark environment only. Spark is into streaming, into machine learning, into SQL, everywhere. What I would suggest, at least spend 10 to 20 days here at ease, right? And then once you learn about Spark, sixth thing what you need to learn, any NoSQL database, right? The easiest one may be HBase. You can go ahead with it, right? Spend some 1 to 2 days something on this. The seventh thing is real-time data processing or streaming data. So you need to learn Spark streaming. Spark streaming, again, it's a big topic, but you just need to know something. So spend around 2 to 5 days maximum, right? Now, eighth thing is your Kafka, right? Ninth, CI/CD or something, how this whole code, what you're writing, how it is getting deployed. The 10th and the last thing is, and which is where people are struggling a lot. See, these all things are available in market in lot of detail, lot of good resources. The 10th thing is real-time projects, right? Real-time projects. There is not even a single site which will provide you good quality real-time projects. Even there are sites, you won't relate them. So what I would suggest to experienced candidates, don't go with any other real-time projects. Try to relate your day-to-day activities with big data stack. So when you spend these 8 items, you will know the ABCD of big data, right? ABCD of big data. Now you can use this knowledge to form your own sentences. For example, if you are using ETL tool, if you are using some Java, if you are using something, then you can stitch these 8-9 technology, and you can form a big data projects. Still, if you're still struggling, I'm here for you guys. I will be making a series for 4 or 5 real-time projects, and I will take suggestion from you guys which project you guys need. You can give this thing into comment section, right? Now, all these things are looking super easy, but when you look to internet to learn all this stuff, you will find million of resources. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. You will find 1 million resources to learn all this stuff. So what I would suggest, don't go with yourself to research things, else you will be lost. Join some course. Why course? Because it will give you the path which will give you from A, B, C, D to make sentences. It will tell you everything. obviously, since I'm working, I will suggest my course, and I literally covered the same way what I'm telling you, right? Now, the most important thing which recruiter knows, recruiter wants is certification of big data, because obviously when recruiter gets your resume, he don't even know how much you know. So he will just look through your resume. If he finds that you are some certified candidate, then he will go for you. It's CCS 175 or maybe some develop. And so this thing is fancy enough, right? And you will learn all these things if you get your hands dirty. If you just learn the theory, watch the videos, and then go to bed, believe me, all the knowledge what you're getting will be gone in 1 month, 2 months, or maybe in 3 months. Now, one most important thing is get yourself visible on social media. And when I say social media, not on Facebook, but on LinkedIn, right? So whatever you're learning, try to write that thing into your own language, right? Try to write that thing in your own language and write a post or blog on LinkedIn. Like for example, if you learn SDFS, let's say, right? In SDFS, there are a number of things. And even in my videos, I have covered in a lot of details. But what I want and what I would suggest is start writing that thing in your own words and post that blog on LinkedIn so that people will know that, okay, this guy is learning something new and he's working hard. Okay, this is the most important thing. Now, the most important question. Obviously, everyone, there are two kinds of people. One who's just learning to gain knowledge, and they may be 10% or 5%, but most of the people learn new things to get the new job. So this 95% of people, right? How to get a job? By following these few steps what I told you in the last 15 minutes, right? Now, what I would suggest, make a plan, right? Make a plan. What plan? So first of all, give timeline to you that, okay, I need to go for how to start, what is needed, these two things what I covered, that okay, I will take or I will commit at least 40 days or 30 days, 30 to 40 days. And in 30 to 40 days, I will be covering these many sections, and make a timetable, right? Make a timetable. And why I'm telling you guys that make a timetable or make some schedule, else you will be lost. If I ask you to spend SDFS in 1 to 5 days, don't spend more than that, because obviously that's not needed, because this is what experience is, right? So just make a timetable that, okay, I will spend 2 days, and 2 days means 48 hours. To be honest, two days mean 48 hours, but obviously you won't be spending 48 hours, right? You can spend whatever hours you have free from your job. If you're not working, you can literally spend 16, 18, whatever hours. If you're working professional, you can spend 4 to 5 hours every day, right? Second thing, follow a certification path. And if I say follow a certification path, buy a voucher as of now. Buy a voucher. Voucher means, let's say, if the one of the certification what I like personally is CCA 175. CCA 175. So this CCA 175 is $295 is the cost of the certification, is $295, but it will give you the boost that, okay guys, I need to learn all this stuff and I need to pass this certification. And the good part about the certification is it's a pure hands-on certification, so employer trust this certification a lot. It's not a multiple choice question. You need to literally write the code, you need to execute the code, and these people will judge your code, and then you'll pass or fail, right? So this certification will give you a lot of confidence by yourself and even to your employer who want to hire you. Okay, so buy a voucher and then work toward it. So these 30 to 40 days, you will commit yourself that, okay, I need to buy a voucher, book a date, and then work toward to pass that certification. So everything what I've covered in how to start will be applicable here, right? Because CCA 175 is covering everything. Third thing is start writing blogs. Start writing blogs on LinkedIn or maybe on Medium, anywhere, but start writing. It will give you your gaps, what you don't understand. Because see, when I'm teaching you or somebody else is teaching you will feel like that this is very easy, okay, and it is not a rocket science. But when you start writing that thing into your own words, you will feel like no, I don't know this thing, how this thing is related to this thing. You will think from the very deep level. So start writing blogs. Fourth thing, start updating your LinkedIn profile, right? So, and be active on LinkedIn. So first of all, do some certification, do Coursera courses, right? Coursera courses, and start posting them so that people will come to know, okay, this guy is learning, and it will literally, you don't even realize people are noticing you. A lot of recruiters are noticing you if you post certification, if you post some good post or blogs on the LinkedIn. A lot of people are noticing you. That's what the beauty of the social media. Fifth thing, right? When you, let's say if you commit 40 days and you are at 30 days, you are 30 day, start working on your resume. Start working on your resume. When I say resume, so these 30 to 40 days, obviously you will be committing around learning about real-time projects. You will be committing around learning about big data stack and everything. But what thing will make you unique in terms of, okay, whether you are applicable for the job, is your resume. So do work towards your resume seriously. Don't copy paste things from other resume. Try to give some attention and try to relate the technology or the projects what you really did. Even if you want to add something extra, please go through in detail. So it won't be a surprise when your interviewer scanning through your resume ask you something and you don't know, okay, this is my resume, and you don't even realize, right? So do work on this thing very seriously. Sixth thing, which I will be helping you, mock interviews. So if you need any mock interviews, so I have been interviewing people for 4 to 5 years now, and literally I have interviewed 500 plus people in these years. If you need any help in mock interviews, do contact me in the comment section. I will give you proper time and I will take mock interview. Okay. So this is the master plan, what you guys need to do. And now, once you do this, believe me, your job is not going anywhere. You will surely get a good job in good company if you follow these plans seriously. Now, what I did right now, so I have created a YouTube channel, this thing, Hadoop for Everyone. And all the things what I'm telling you, I have covered everything in a lot of details, right? From SDFS to MapReduce to Hive to Spark, Scala, and then Spark Streaming, right? Spark Streaming, HBase, and even I will be covering Kafka, and then CI/CD, everything, and projects as well. So do follow that. I'm not sure whether on YouTube you can find a single course or single YouTube channel which will be covering everything in a lot of detail. So do go through all these things, comment in, and do get in touch with me if you need any help. Okay. I think that's all, so obviously this is what I think. People may have different opinion, but if you follow this, believe me, you won't lose anything. Okay, that's all, guys.